your American dream?
My American dream is we all get along and love each other.
My American dream is for my grandchildren to have all the opportunity that they should have, fulfill their own dreams, and be fully American citizens.
My American dream is peace, humanity, and justice for all.
My American dream is for people of all faiths, colors, religions to come together and to rebuild a system so that it works for everyone.
We'll all come together and become the democracy that we really are, and the strong, caring people that we are.
My American dream is no poverty, that young black men shouldn't get shot. My American dream is that we can be a wonderful, colorful, diverse America, that we just all love each other and accept each other as we are.
My American dream is that every single American, every single person on earth is treated with the same respect and dignity afforded to everybody. Every single human on this planet should be treated with love and compassion.
We continue to aspire to what I think we can be as a country, which is what the Statue of Liberty says we are. It's just a welcoming country that's a democracy.
My American dream is a nation of immigrants.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Okay, no worries, Brad. Don't worry. I got this for you. I'll look up that statute. I got the immigration Bible here. Kurz bans, immigration, everything. I'm learning so much being an assistant helper at Spar Bernstein. Okay. Oh, hello, Bradshaw Live Squad. I hope you had a great weekend. I sure did. And now, with my new tie and my glasses, I'm extra official here at Spar Bernstein, so I'm helping Brad with some legal research. But these books are so big, they're not made for groundhogs. Anyway, I'll stop complaining, and I'll introduce the show, because now is the time that we have all been waiting for. It's time for Bradshaw Live, starring Brad Bernstein. Enjoy! Okay, let me find that statue now. Oh, I do so much around here.
Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, June 12th, 2023. This is Bradshaw Live, and I'm going to be answering your immigration questions, both live by you calling us at 1-800-529-5465 and internationally at +1 212-227-8933. Also going to answer your questions in the comment section. But let's say hello to our Brad squad first. Up first, Daryl Winnebos, squad up. How are you? Jessica Leamy, squad up. Alyssa McPherson, squad up. Oh, boy, this is a mouthful, but Abdul Rahman Baba Tunde, squad up. Earth Angel, squad up. Marlon King, up. Julian Campbell, squad up. How are you? I said Alyssa McPherson, said John Love. Sunny saying hi, squad up. Janelle Smith, swuff. I guess that means squad up. She just probably did a typo there. She said swuff up. And Shireen Cuisine with the first pre-schmooze question of the day. If my U.S. citizen husband has not worked for the past 3 years, so no taxes have been filed, and we get a co-sponsor, what should my husband put on his I-864 form regarding income? 0. Now, if your husband is of working age and he doesn't have any physical incapacity, there's going to be questions about, what do you mean he doesn't work? And there may be questions about, does he work and only get paid in cash and not file taxes? Because if that's the situation, the government's not going to reward your husband's wife, which is you or whoever you're calling about or asking about, with a green card to somebody who doesn't do their civic duty of paying and filing taxes. So it's okay if he doesn't work. It's not okay if he works and gets paid in cash and doesn't file taxes. That's a problem. And the government's going to ask about it. So be prepared for that. Baba Oil, squad up. How are you? And Slade Ann with a question. Pre-schmooze question. Can a ex-convict petition for his wife, his minor kids to get a green card? An ex-convict has a right to fall in love. An ex-convict did his or her time in jail. An ex-convict has a right to live a normal life. So the answer is yes, across the board, with one exception. If that ex-convict was in jail for sex offense with a minor, then you would need an Adam Walsh waiver. But outside of that, perfectly okay. Sophia Henderson, squad up. Tracy Haynes, good afternoon. Marie Brown, good evening, Brad squad. I said Ja Love. Janelle Smith with another pre-schmooze question of the day. How long does it take for the spousal sponsorship applications for Canada? You're asking me about Canada? I don't have the slightest idea. It is hard enough to be a U.S. immigration lawyer. Sorry, we do not do Canada here. Canada is a different country. Mohammed Al-Nahas, also with the pre-schmooze question of the day. Hey, I got an RFE to submit the medical I-693 13 days ago and still no response. How long does it usually take to get a decision green card based on approved asylum? Usually less than 120 days. 13 days is asking a lot, but you should have a response within 120 days or less. Good luck. That means you are at the end. Crystal Blake, hello. How are you, Crystal? Bonnie, good evening. Good evening to you, Bonnie. Joyce, squad up. And God Talks with another pre-schmooze question of the day. What do I do if I have no evidence to support my case? I just fled the country. I guess you're talking about filing asylum. You fled your country and you have no evidence to prove your case. Your case is based on the words that come out of your mouth, based on your credible testimony, your own testimony of what you lived through, about how you had to run for your life in details will win your case. You can testify on your behalf. And what lawyers do and what immigration officers do too is they then look at country reports from different organizations to see, does what you're saying jive with what different groups are saying is going on in that particular, different organizations are saying what's going on in that particular country. So you're going to prove your asylum case based on your own words. Demba Sal, hello, family. And Jen Finn with another pre-schmooze question of the day. Hi, Brad. Can someone have two petitions pending? You can petition two different ways to get a green card. Absolutely. You can apply for a green card through a spouse and a brother or sister. That's perfectly fine. You can do it many, many different ways. And whichever comes in first, that's what you go with. So that's perfectly fine. And Abatunde with a question, but I can't read it now. Oh, here it is. I was in removal proceedings in 2018. I got my relief. I guess that's what he's saying. And I got my green card in 2020 by the immigration judge. I did removal of conditions and got my green card. I want to travel to my home country. Can I? You can, as long as you didn't previously apply for asylum. If you applied for asylum previously and then got your green card through marriage, that asylum case is still on record. And you did claim to the government that you were scared to go back home. And if you said you were scared to go back home, you getting married doesn't doesn't make you less scared to go back home. And now if you go back home as if you don't have a care in the world, the government may have some words for you when you return in the airport, asking you why they believe you made a misrepresentation in your asylum case. So if you ended up in removal originally through asylum, I don't think it's a good idea to travel back to your home country. Tracy Haynes Thompson, good afternoon. And we'll do one more pre-schmooze question of the day, and then we're going to get into our schmooze. And our last pre-schmooze question of the day comes from Emily Marshall. Hello. With the new F1 visa premium processing, can you apply to change your status to a F1, but with a start date for class in January? Is it possible to be approved months in advance? No, it's not. So if you're going to want to go to school now, you apply to extend your stay for 6 months on a visitor's visa, and then in October and November, make a new application to change your status to a student. Remember, everybody, you can call 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's +1-212-227-8933 to get on our show. It is also the telephone number to the law offices of Spar and Bernstein. So if you want to make a consultation with me, you can also call those same telephone numbers, 1-800-529-5465 internationally, +1-212-227-8933. It's the same telephone number to get live on our show and ask your immigration question. And it is the same telephone number to call my office to schedule a consultation. And of course, if you rather text than call, most people like to text these days, go to our website at www.lawsb.com. That's law, S is in Spar, B is in Bernstein.com. And you can text with my office and ask all the questions and schedule your consultations via text. A text message will pop up right in the homepage of www.lawsb.com. But right now, it's time to schmooze. Let's do it. All right, so the Department of State has announced that on June 17th, 2023, the non-immigrant visa application processing fee for visitors' visas for business or tourism and other non-petition-based non-immigrant visas, such as student and exchange visitors' visas, the F visa, the M visa, the J visas, all of those fees will increase from $160 to $185. That is as of June 17th. The fee for certain petition-based non-immigrant visas for temporary workers, the H, the L, the O, the P, the Q, they will all increase from $190 to $205. The fee for a treaty trader, treaty investor, and treaty applicants in a specialty occupation visa, that is the E3 visa, those will all increase. The E1, E2, E3 will all increase from $205 to $315. And non-immigrant visa fees paid prior to June 17th, 2023 will remain valid through the expiration date of that fee receipt. The department said the non-immigrant visa fees are set based on the actual cost of providing non-immigrant visa services and are determined after conducting a study of the cost of these services. The department uses the activity-based costing methodology to calculate, for those accountants out there, the ABC methodology, and the cost, and they figure out the cost of providing consular services, including visa services. The fees for most non-petition-based non-immigrant visas were last updated 2012. So last time they raised the fees was over a decade ago. And this rule will not change any other fees. And of course, fee information can be found on the Bureau of Consular Affairs website and on the website of every U.S. embassy and consulate. And I do also have to remind everybody, it has not been announced yet, but the Department of Homeland Security is going to raise immigration filing fees for adjustment of status and every application under the sun that exists. Adjustment fees, they say, are going to double. So based on what they put in the Federal Register, your adjustment right now is $1,760 if you get married. is going to go up to over 3,500. Now, that number may change, but we are expecting any day, any week, that the Department of Homeland Security is going to raise those fees. So for people who are married and thinking of putting their applications in, people who want to put in their citizenship applications, do yourself a favor. Do it now, because those fees are going to be going up in the next couple of weeks or month or two, for sure. We're just waiting for the shoe to drop. We just don't know when it's going to be. And on June 9th, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced that certain individuals requesting parole based on urgent humanitarian reasons, like attending a court hearing, or for urgent medical care, you need this medical care immediately, or other significant benefit, you can now file this form, the I-131, for urgent medical care, or to come to attend a urgent court hearing, or for some other significant public benefit, and you need emergency travel. You can't wait for that tourist visa. You can't wait for an appointment at the U.S. Embassy. You can now file that form I-131 application for a travel document online. But you can only be eligible if you are basing it on an urgent humanitarian reason or a significant public benefit. And you have to be outside of the United States to be seeking this initial parole into the United States. And it does not include any of the family reunification parole programs that are already in existence for Cuba, Haiti, Filipino World War II veterans, and none of the parole programs that are currently in place for Nicaragua, Ukraine, Venezuela, and the other countries that have those particular parole programs. Now, the most important thing is everyone's getting excited. Wow, I can ask for an expedited travel document online. Yeah, but there's a filing fee you're going to pay of $545. And take note of this. If you are denied, you're not getting that $545 back. I said $545 because I forget filing fees, but actually I-131 is $575. So I take that back. It's $575. So you're going to say, wow, I'm going to apply for a travel document and expedite. What do I care? It's very rare that you would actually get it approved. You would need a good lawyer to do it. It better be for urgent humanitarian reason. And just note, if you get denied, you're going to lose that $575. So before everybody runs to the website to apply for their emergency travel document to come to the United States, think about it. Or speak to a lawyer first. And two senior officials under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security are set to retire at the end of June. Tay Johnson, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's acting chief, and Raul Ortiz, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection chief. Johnson joined ICE on January 13th, 2021, near the end of Donald Trump's administration. After multiple directors stepped down, the previous ICE acting chief, Jonathan Fahey, retired after the January 6th Capitol riot. Fahey had spent just 13 days on the job. And since 2017, get this, 9 acting ICE directors, was it 6 years, has been appointed and have stepped down, resigned, retired, or were dismissed. I think that's 9 in 6 years. Acting directors are appointed to temporarily fill a role before a president's nominee for the role receives Senate confirmation. And the reason why we keep getting acting instead of actual confirmation is because the Senate won't confirm any of these people because immigration is hotly contested. Now, 17 people have led ICE since the agency was formed in 2003. However, only 4 of them were actually confirmed by the Senate and all served under George W. Bush and Barack Obama. Everybody else has been acting, or so they speak. I probably are acting. In 2021, President Biden nominated Texas Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez to be the ICE director, but in June 2022, after the Senate failed to make progress on his nomination by voting for or against it, Gonzalez withdrew himself from consideration. The Department of Homeland Security has yet to announce who will be the next acting director. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas commended Tay Johnson for more than 31 years of service to ICE, the department, and the nation. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz also served for more than 3 decades. He wrote a letter to Border Patrol employees in May about his decision to retire from federal service after 32 years at Border Patrol. He became chief of the agency in August 2021, even though he had already been planning to retire before then. And on June 9th, the Biden administration tapped Jason Owens, a 27-year veteran of the Border Patrol, to be its next chief. Owens currently leads the Border Patrol sector in Del Rio, Texas, which has emerged in recent years as the busiest part of the border. In a statement announcing the move, Mayorkas called Owens a talented, selfless, and inspiring leader. Owens took over as head of the Del Rio sector in late 2021, a few months after thousands of migrants, largely from Haiti, attempted to cross the border into Del Rio and found themselves confined in a camp on the banks of the Rio Grande. And talking about the border, according to statistics released by the Department of Homeland Security on Tuesday, June 6th, unlawful entries along the southern border have decreased 70% from their record highs since the end of Title 42 on May 11th. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol has averaged 3,400 encounters in between ports of entry per day and fewer than 300 non-CBP one Office of Field Operations encounters at ports of entry per day, for a total of approximately 3,700 scheduled encounters per day, according to statistics. So we got 3,400 people who actually go through the fence, over the fence, under the fence, and another 300 people per day who just walk up to the border and say, I don't have an appointment, but I want to come in anyway. So that's the 3,700. Now, from May 12th to June 2nd, DHS has repatriated, get this, 38,400 non-citizens. In 3 weeks, Department of Homeland Security has deported at the border 38,400 non-citizens. These are people who did not get an opportunity to apply for asylum. These are people who did not get an opportunity to see a judge. They just got picked up by immigration and sent back to Mexico. This includes single adults, this includes families, and this includes more than 8 people from 80 different countries. This includes over 1,400 non-citizens from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who returned to Mexico under Title VIII. The first time in our bilateral history that the Mexican government has allowed the repatriation of non-Mexican nationals at the border under Title VIII. The top 3 nationalities encountered during that time period were, drum roll please, Mexicans, Hondurans, and Venezuelans, which collectively accounted for 70% of all the encounters per day, according to the Department of Homeland Security. The White House has applauded the decrease. White House Assistant Press Secretary Abdullah Hassan tweeted, political pundits and Republican lawmakers claimed we were unprepared for the end of Title 42. We proved them wrong. DHS said that CBP One app, which was rolled out by DHS as a hub, offering a variety of Customs and Border Patrol services, saw 1,070 non-citizens presented in a safe and orderly manner at a port of entry each day to be processed during their scheduled appointment time. Customs and Border Patrol has, as of June 1st, expanded the number of appointments available on the CBP app to 1,250 per day. But some Republicans have expressed skepticism of the Customs and Border Patrol One app, saying the app is a vehicle that would allow mass migration. Republicans on the House Committee on Homeland Security tweeted Monday, House Republicans voted to bar Department of Homeland Security from exploiting the app and restore it back to its original intent. Total CBP enforcement actions for fiscal year 2023 are 1,246,371 people per date. That means Customs and Border Patrol on the southern border has encountered and done something with a human being 1,246,371 times in the first January, February, March, April, May, first 5 months of the year. That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. Meanwhile, on Monday, June 5th, a federal appeals court ruled that the Biden administration still cannot implement certain immigration policies at the southern border, saying the Department of Homeland Security has not gone far enough to prove that they are warranted. The decision from the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta marks another policy win for the little runt in Florida we like to call Governor Ron DeSantis, who is spearheading the lawsuit through State Attorney General Ashley Moody as a protest to President Biden's handling of immigration. In denying a court stay seeking to allow Department of Homeland Security to release some asylum seekers into the United States on a parole basis with limited supervision as the legal battle continues, the appeals judge determined that the federal government failed to make their case, citing less action at the border than was originally forecast and a delay in appealing a prior court ruling. The appeals court stems from a 2021 lawsuit brought by Moody against the Biden administration targeting immigration policies put in place shortly after the president entered office. The challenge claims that federal authorities were ignoring a federal law that requires people entering the country illegally to be detained, and that undocumented migrants coming into Florida were costing the state. In March, U.S. District Judge T. Kent Wetherell ordered federal immigration authorities to revamp their parole plus alternatives to detention, known as parole plus ATD policies, slamming the Biden administration for what he called an unsustainable crisis on the nation's southern border. Wetherell was, of course, appointed by Donald Trump. The federal government has since been unable to enforce the immigration measures, as Wetherell denied a court stay sought by the Biden administration in May before the case eventually headed to appeals court. The Biden administration on appeal pushed back against Wetherell's ruling, calling it harmful and alleging that it will lead to unsafe overcrowding at U.S. Customs and Border Protection facilities, while also undercutting the country's ability to process and remove migrants, creating very dangerous conditions for Border Patrol agents and migrants alike. But the judges have determined that recent data from the border casts further doubt on arguments from the federal government claiming the ruling is causing irreparable harm, noting that contrary to Department of Homeland Security's catastrophic predictions, encounters with aliens fell significantly after Title 42 expired. So Biden is being successful on the border, and as a result, he's losing in court. Meanwhile, this is very interesting. I'd like to see how this one plays out. I'm sure everybody's seen the migrants getting on the planes from Florida and Texas and flying to northern and states in California. Well, 2 planes arrived in Sacramento, California on Friday, June 2nd, and Monday, June 5th, each carrying asylum seekers, mostly from Colombia and Venezuela. California Attorney General Rob Bonta said that the individuals had been picked up in El Paso, Texas, taken to New Mexico, and then put on charter flights to California's capital of Sacramento. And he is now investigating whether any violations of criminal or civil law occurred. Now, this is where I find it gets interesting. In a tweet on Monday, California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom called his right-wing Republican Florida counterpart, our friend, your friend. He's not either. We're not friends with him. Ron DeSantis. We called him a runt. Gavin Newsom called him a small, pathetic man and appeared to threaten kidnapping charges to a section of California's penal code stating anybody who abducts or takes by force or fraud a person found within the state is guilty of kidnapping. California Attorney General Bonta said in a statement that the 16 South Americans abandoned outside the Roman Catholic Diocese of Sacramento on Friday were in possession of documentation purporting to be from the state of Florida and may have been duped into boarding charter flights via New Mexico after entering the United States and Texas. On Monday morning, a second flight of 20 migrants arrived in the state's capital. Kim Nava, a Sacramento County spokesperson, said the arrivals remained at the airport for a couple of hours and were fed before being transported to a religious institution. The episode has parallels to what critics called a similar soulless stunt orchestrated by DeSantis last year in which his administration abandoned several dozen mostly Venezuelan migrants, and Martha's Vineyard, which is an island, summer vacation island off the coast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Bonta said Florida was guilty of state-sanctioned kidnapping. If it was found to be behind the flights, he told the New York Times the migrants showed documents to California authorities that indicated their travel had been administered by the Florida Division of Emergency Management. A contractor, Vertol Systems Company. Vertol Systems is the same contractor hired by Florida's Department of Emergency last year to move migrants from Texas to Massachusetts for $1.6 million. The flight was operated by Berry Aviation, an active U.S. defense contractor. Meanwhile, in Texas, after investigating the September 22 involuntary transportation of 49 migrants from San Antonio to Martha's Vineyard, Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar has recommended that criminal charges be filed in the case. And the Bexar County Sheriff's Office confirmed that the case has been filed with the county's district attorney's office for consideration. Now, what I find very interesting is this could very well be kidnapping or forced coercion into kidnapping under California penal law. Who would get charged with these crimes? Can California charge a governor of another state? I don't know. I haven't really given any thought to that, but it was a good tweet by Governor Newsom. I don't know how that's going to play out. I just find it very interesting. And meanwhile, on Wednesday, June 7th, New York Senator Charles Schumer and U.S. Representative Hakeem Jeffries said in a joint statement from New York City that they will receive $104.6 million in federal funds to help cover the cost of providing services to asylum seekers. More than 72,000 migrants have passed through the city since last spring, with more than 44,000 still in the city's care. The money is second round given from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and sharply contradicts expectations from top officials in the administration of New York City Mayor Eric Adams about how much the city would be receiving. In early May, the Department of Homeland Security, which includes FEMA, announced a $332.5 million allocation that largely went to communities on the southern border. New York City only received $30 million. The city's $104 million allocation that was now received through the new Federal Shelter and Services Program constitutes about 30% of the money announced Wednesday and is much larger than payments to other cities. The second largest payments were going to San Diego, which received $15 million, and Chicago, which received $10 million. And on Sunday afternoon, Mayor Eric Adams announced that app-based food delivery workers in New York City will earn $17.96 an hour before tips beginning July 12th, an amount that takes into account their costs of operating. And with this rate, New York will become the first major United States city to establish and implement pay requirements for delivery workers in the gig economy. The hourly rate will increase to $19.96 before tips by April 1st, 2025. The standard is a significant increase from the estimated $11 hourly workers currently earn after tips. And New York City estimates the number of gig delivery food workers at 65,000. A lot of these delivery workers who are working as independent contractors are immigrants or undocumented immigrants, because why would an undocumented immigrant want to do this job? Well, you got to find money somewhere. But also, if you're working as an independent contractor under the law, nobody has to check your documents to see if you're legal to work. That's why you find a lot of undocumented immigrants delivering food around the entire city of New York and many cities. And guess what? Now in New York City, those workers are now going to get $19.96 by April 1st, 2025. And that sounds great for the workers. People getting the food, they're going to pay more. So if you're ordering food, you're going to pay more because your delivery worker is going to be making more than $8 an hour more now. Now, obviously, there are no reliable statistics on the number of app workers, but estimates do put the number of immigrants working in the delivery services through an app at tens of thousands. and app-based delivery workers are classified, as I said, as independent contractors and not employees. So they are not currently entitled to a minimum wage. Now, Mayor Adams is making them have a minimum wage of $19.96 an hour. And because they are independent contractors, many immigrants are attracted to that job because no documents are required to prove you're legal to work as an independent contractor. And on Wednesday in New York City, the atmosphere changed to a reddish tone. I'm sure people saw it in the papers and on the news. We thought people here in New York City thought it was the end of the world. And it was a byproduct of the 400 or so fires burning hundreds of miles away in Canada. And the Federal Aviation Administration even grounded flights at many of New York City's airports, including LaGuardia. Now, the air quality index in the city spiked to a record-setting 484 Wednesday. When I left work Wednesday evening, I tasted the soot from the fire in my mouth. And that made Wednesday evening New York City's air the most polluted air of anywhere in the world. But you want to know who was working outside that whole day and evening? Delivery trucks, motorcycles, and bikes continuing to deliver food to hungry New Yorkers throughout the entire city. And with New Yorkers cautioned to stay inside, these food delivery workers reprised their pandemic role. Ligia Gualapa, executive director of Workers' Justice Project, said, in times like these, it's really low-paid workers who become our city's first responders, without a minimum pay, without safety protections. So congratulations to the delivery workers. Maybe you didn't get any safety protections, but at least now you will get a minimum wage. And finally, also on Wednesday, June 7th, a judicial nominee from Michigan moved members of the Senate Judiciary Committee with her immigration story, sharing how she was adopted and raised by a single mother in the United States after being left on the steps of a hospital in Seoul, South Korea as an infant. Attorney Susan DeClercq, a former federal prosecutor from Northville, was nominated by President Biden last month to serve on the federal bench in the Eastern District of Michigan. DeClercq told the panel, I'm very proud of being an immigrant. I've always been very aware of how different my life would have been had that not happened, and the incredible opportunities that this country, the United States of America, has given to me. And so I've spent most of my professional career in public service. I deeply appreciate not only the country, but the government, which was why I joined the Department of Justice. And for me, it's always been about equality and justice. And I think that is part of the immigrant experience. If confirmed, DeClercq would be the first federal judge of East Asian descent in Michigan. Committee Chairman Dick Durbin, an Illinois Democrat, called DeClercq's life story amazing. Durbin told DeClercq, to be abandoned as a child and to be part of a family of adoption that made the difference in your life and brought you to this moment in history. So we congratulate the judicial nominee from Michigan, originally from Seoul, South Korea, Attorney Susan DeClercq. All right, so that is our schmooze of the day. I do have to remind everybody, our numbers are locked, but if you were to call right now, maybe somebody gets tired of waiting on hold, you will get into the queue. 1-800-529-5465. I'm going to be answering your immigration questions in about 1 minute and 5 seconds. But right now, Spar and Bernstein client and squad member, our very own Sasha Ford, tells us what it was like working with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein when she was ready to file for her green card. Let's watch.
I'm from Jamaica. I moved here 5 years ago. After getting married, I reached out to the firm, and I was quickly put with a lawyer and a paralegal. And, the process was not bad. All I had to do was to submit everything they asked me for in a timely fashion, make my regular payments, like they do payment plans. So that's like the greatest part of it. And then, everything just flow. All I have to do is just to show up wherever they ask me to show up. And my interview went really great. My lawyer was there with me. My husband answered, fairly well. And I just sat there, and then it was my turn. So, it wasn't hard. By the time I was 2 years into my marriage, I already have my 10 years. The firm helped me. They did everything for me. All I have to do was to submit the paper and make my payment, and they work on the behind the scenes. Just go to Brad and get it done and over with, and you're good.
All right. Whether you are undocumented, ready to file for your green card or for your citizenship, Spar and Bernstein can help. We will figure out the best options for you in a consultation. You can send us a private message. You can go on our website at www.lawsb.com and send us a text message. You can send us a DM on our Instagram at Bradshaw Live and send us a DM on our TikTok, Bradshaw Live. You can send us a private message on Facebook at Bradshaw Live, or you can call us the old-fashioned way at 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465 internationally, 212-227-8933. But right now, the meat and potatoes of the show. It's dinner time. We're going to be answering your questions live. Let's do it. All right, Larry. Larry, how are you?
Hey.
Larry, you're waiting 45 minutes to speak to me from Kansas City, Missouri. What's going on? How can I help?
Well, I don't have a question, but I have a thank you.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah, you helped my wife get her green card.
Great.
After your office filed, she got her green card 5 months after you guys filed.
Larry, tell me about your. Go ahead. I'll let you talk.
Okay, it continues. Just recently, she did her citizen ceremony, so now she's a citizen.
Congratulations. And how is it working with the firm? I thought you were just calling for a question. How is it working for the firm?
Oh, it was great. I mean, you guys did all the paperwork, even though we're in Missouri, and it was so simple. We didn't have much because it was just us here, but, it didn't take much. We went for our interview, and the interview was more of a discussion, little questions, and we just talked. She got through the first time, and her citizenship interview went by so easy.
Well, that's fantastic news. I thank you. I mean, I wasn't expecting somebody to wait on hold 45 minutes to thank me. So that was extraordinarily nice of you. You're certainly a gentleman. And of course, what was really nice of you to point out is that you are in Kansas City, Missouri. You did not come to New York. We did not go to Kansas City, Missouri, and we were able to represent you virtually by telephone, sending you emails, and everything worked out great, right?
Oh, yes, everything. The payment plan, like the girl just spoke about,
Sasha.
It worked great for us. It was just everything was right on time. My wife told me to call and thank you because she's working right now.
All right. Well, this is all saved on YouTube and Facebook, so you could show your wife later at about the 44-minute mark of our YouTube and broadcast you got on the show. You can just fast forward to 44 minutes. Thank you very much, Larry. Congratulations to you and your wife. And thank you very much for calling and holding for those 45 minutes to thank me and tell the entire squad what a wonderful work we did. I'm happy for two reasons. One, I'm always happy to hear that you were satisfied with our work, but I'm equally or probably even more joyful to know that everything worked out for you and your family. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Larry. All right. Let's go to Dahlia in West Palm Beach, Florida. Dahlia.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So I'm calling on behalf of my friend. Her handbag was stolen with her passport and her green card.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a 2-year green card, so she had already put in the removal of condition.
Am I going down? It should go up. Okay, yes, I'm listening.
So she wants to know if she travels, because she have the letter, the extension letter that they gave her, and she wants to know if she travels out of the country, if she can get back in with just the extension, because she can renew her passport in Jamaica. But
No.
she don't know if she can.
They're not going to let you on a plane. So you can't travel with the extension letter. So and there's not an airline I know that will let you on a plane even to go to Jamaica without a passport. So she has to go get a passport at the consulate in the United States, at a Jamaican consulate. If it takes too long to get a passport right here in the United States, you could always ask the Jamaican consulate for an emergency travel document, but something they need from the country of Jamaica to show she's a Jamaican citizen, either an emergency travel document or a passport. They're not going to let you on the plane just with the extension notice.
Okay, but what about, okay, so if she get the emergency travel document, just saying, can she get back into the country with
No, she would then need to get a passport in Jamaica and return to the United States with the passport.
And the extension letter without the green card?
She needs the green card. What she should do, the extension letter is not going to be enough. If she gets into the airport, let's say she flies into Miami or JFK or whatever, she gets into the airport and she shows the extension letter, they'll let her in because they could look it up. What the problem's going to be is the gate agent for Delta or American or however you're flying there, JetBlue, they have no access to anything. So, and they got blinders on. Do you have your green card? Do you have your passport? You have your extension notice. They don't have it. You're not getting on the plane, period.
But Brad, they're not going to renew an expired green card, right? So
no,
she's going to have to.
This is the process she has to go through. Okay, and she has to get the emergency travel document first, then go down to immigration and have them stamp an I-94 or have them stamp the emergency travel document or something. The immigration's got to give her an extension stamp and on an I-551. And then she's going to travel emergency travel document. Usually what they'll do is stamp an I-94 arrival departure record with an extension notice of the I-551. Then she goes down to Jamaica. She renews her passport. She comes up with her extension notice, the stamped I-94 that she got it stateside at immigration, and the Jamaican passport that she got in Jamaica, because then you can't travel back to the U.S. on the emergency travel document.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Sorry this happened. Let's go to Marlon.
Hey, Brad. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Come
on. I have a little problem.
What?
Figure out. I'm trying to ask you two of them. All right. I was supposed to file my I-715. And
I-751.
Eventually, yes, I-751. But eventually, my lawyer, she did not file on the deal when I was supposed to file. I'm like 3 days out right now. Is it a problem?
Yes, it's going to be denied because you filed late. So it's all going to be returned. And then you have to file it again with a good excuse why you're filing it late. And you've got a really good excuse. My lawyer is an idiot and screwed up. I paid my lawyer in advance and my lawyer didn't do it. So immigration should accept that excuse after it gets returned, and then they will extend your green card.
So I got to file it 2 times.
Correct, because it's going to be rejected the first time for filing late.
Oh my God. All right, there's another question.
What?
I was supposed to travel to Canada like the 23rd.
You can't go right now. You can't go right now.
Can't move.
No. Because right now you have no evidence that you have that you're in lawful status.
Oh. No, because my green card had expired.
Your green card expired. You filed the I-751 late. And as I said, they're going to return it. And then there's going to be a period of time you're undocumented. And you can't travel till immigration accepts your application and sends you that receipt that you're allowed to travel.
Oh. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brad. Thank you, man.
Welcome. Good luck. All right. Let's go to Desmond in Atlanta. Desmond. Hi, Desmond. Desmond in Atlanta. Desmond going once.
Yeah, can you hear me, Brad?
Yeah, I hear you now. What's going on?
Oh, marvelous. Just a quickie, really. What it was is that I'm going to get married via marriage and adjust my status. But just recently, a few weeks ago, my sponsor, my wife, has been laid off of work. Now, obviously, we had all our paperwork and all that in order to file. Should I wait until she gets back in employment, or should I file now? And secondly, the price increase that's going to happen on the 17th, is that
No, the price increase doesn't affect you because that's Department of State, but there will be a price increase soon. What I would suggest is, do you have a friend or family member who can give a second affidavit of support?
Yes, I do. I do have a sister.
Okay, get a second affidavit of support from your sister and file it immediately.
Right. Okay. And
then by the time you get your interview, I'm sure your wife will have a new job, and you can bring evidence of that. But get the application filed with that second affidavit of support. You'll be fine.
Right. Okay. Because she was on her job for about 3 years or so. So obviously, and obviously, in terms of a consultation for you guys to handle all that, is that free service? Can I have that done with you?
It's not a free service for a consultation. We have paid. This is free here. But if you want to schedule a consultation with me, it's a paid, but you can discuss that. We have different prices depending on who you're going to speak to. So you can speak to my secretary offline. She'll pick up the phone now and discuss that with you. Hold on. All right. Let's go to Jeffrey in Dallas. Jeffrey.
No, that's not me. Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Jeffrey, how are you?
Doing right. Hey, question, 1 second. I have my scenario is like, I'm a U.S. citizen, right? My wife she got here in the U.S. Through J1 visa, right? But on her passport, they put like the 2 years rule is not applied. And I check on her.
Good.
Say it again?
Yeah, so that's good. So what's the question?
And I checked on her DS 2019 as well. The embassy officer checked that box. They said 2 years do not apply.
Good.
As well. So both matches. So I was trying to see. So I'm about to file her for whatchamacall.
You're filing for an adjustment. It's all good.
For adjustment for a green card. So I was just trying to see if she's gonna see. Because her visa expired a while ago. Because the visa was for 4 months for that program.
Jeffrey, as long as she doesn't have a 2-year home residence requirement, and as long as she made a legal entry on the J visa, even if she overstayed her time, she will get a work permit, a travel document, and a green card if you do the case correctly. Being married to a U.S. citizen, any unlawful employment is forgiven. Unlawfully living in the United States is forgiven. So everything will be fine based on what you told me.
So you say she shouldn't have any issues on her being overstated and getting married and everything, right?
No. As I said, it's all forgiven.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure about that because I heard a lot of scenario that people saying maybe she got to get.
If you're concerned, you should have a consultation with me, and then I can go through the whole thing with you. Okay, but based on what you told me, you're fine. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's go to Charmaine in Brooklyn. Charmaine.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
What's going on?
Okay, I have overstayed, and I need to find my landing information.
Mhm.
Is it possible? What should I do?
Yes. Go on Google and type in I-94 arrival departure DHS. And the first website that should pop up is a website through the Department of Homeland Security that will take you through a couple of prompts and tell you and give you all your I-94 arrival departure information.
So I'm to Google I-94.
Mm-hmm. Here, let me see. Let me see if I can leave it in the comments. Hold on one second. All right, I'll leave the website right in the comments for you. Let me just do it right now. DHS I-94. The website. Here it is. All right. I'm going to leave it right in the comments for you. Okay, there.
Okay.
All right, should have been posted right there. Bradshaw Live. I gave you the website. Way to go to. All right, and you can look it up.
Bradshaw Live.
All right, it's on YouTube and Facebook. I posted it both. All right, I promise.
Yes.
You, yeah, I promise you, it's there. All right, Charmaine. If you have a problem,
So
call us.
that's all I need to do.
Go to the website and put in your information. That's all you need to do.
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Easy peasy. Let's go to Asa in the Bronx. Hi, Asa. Asa in the Bronx.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Good evening.
Good evening.
So my question is on the affidavit of support. So my husband doesn't, I'm trying to file for adjustment of status and then for the green card.
Right.
But my husband's income is not enough, so I'm getting a second affidavit of support.
Right.
So do I fill two forms? And then the first
affidavit, okay, so let me tell you how you do it. The first affidavit of support is signed and filled out by your husband, and he gives his tax information. The second affidavit of support, that's coming from a person who does not live in your household, right?
Yes.
They would give a second.
No, the person is not in my household. The person is a friend.
Okay, fine. So your husband would do one I-864, and your friend would fill out the same exact form, I-864. So you would submit two I-864s.
Oh, got you. So then I'll submit the person's tax transcript or just his W-2, the other person.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
You're going to submit 3 years tax returns and a job letter for your husband's affidavit of support. And you want to submit 3 years tax returns and a job letter for your friend's affidavit of support. And that would include a copy of the entire tax return and W-2.
Okay. So it's both of those documents, the tax return and the letter from the company.
Correct.
Okay. And then my second question is on the working without authorization. So I also overstayed. I noticed you answered somebody. So
you're going.
It applies to me too.
It does apply to you. And let me explain what you do. You tell the truth, because being married to a U.S. citizen and working undocumented does not bar you from getting a green card. What would bar you from getting a green card is lying about working undocumented. Now, if you worked undocumented, you may have to go back and pay some back taxes, and you would speak to a taxpayer about that. You may have to amend taxes for the years in which you and your husband were married and you worked.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And then my other question is on
you said I have one question, and then you said I have my last question, and now you said my other question. Last one. What is it?
I'm sorry, Brad.
Okay, last one.
my last question is about the documents that you add in support of your application. So what if you don't have everything ready? Would you advise, for instance, for the tax returns and the job letter, would you advise I wait for him to get all that for both?
File
or
everything in.
Put it in.
Yes, file everything in one package, perfect, and your case will go much smoother.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Brad. Sorry for taking your time.
My pleasure. Okay, Dwayne in Brooklyn. Dwayne.
Case will go much smoother.
Dwayne.
Okay, all right.
Dwayne.
Thank you so much, Brad.
You're listening to my broadcast instead of listening to the live telephone. But Dwayne, I want you to listen, Dwayne, to the live telephone.
Hi, Brad.
Okay, don't listen to the broadcast. Listen to your live phone. What's up?
Okay, I have a question. I applied for my citizenship, but I applied for it a little bit too early because I did get in a little trouble. And when I applied for it, they said I don't have 5-year good moral character. So I appealed the case, and when I went to the hearing, they asked me, where is the evidence that I have to prove that I have good moral character? She asked me to submit 3 years tax return, job letter, affidavits, and pay stub, and I give them that from the 21st of October, and I did not hear anything back from them.
Okay. What's your question?
So I'm wondering if, I know they said it's 120 days. They have to answer you.
Right.
But that's 120 days been passed and gone.
Right. All right. So you have two choices. You can, 1, wait for a decision, or 2, bring your case into federal court. It's called a de novo review. Under the law, if they don't make a decision within 120 days of you giving the last documents that they need, you can just say, F it, I'm going into federal court. I'll let a federal judge decide. Those are your two options. Federal judge will decide fast. I don't know whether you have good moral character and whether it's worthwhile to go into federal court. I don't have those answers for you. What was your criminal case?
It was a simple possession of marijuana weapon, which is not a firearm, not explosive.
When
I do 18 months probation.
Why so much? How much marijuana was it?
Well, he didn't say no weight. It just says could be a personal use or a cigarette sniff.
What state?
Pennsylvania.
Seems odd that you would get 18 months probation for simple possession of marijuana. What year was that?
That was in 2016.
Well, you know what, and you did 18 months probation.
Yeah, for the simple possession of marijuana and
When
weapon.
was your probation up?
Repeat that for me.
When was your probation up?
In 2018.
When? What month?
June.
June of 2018.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what you should do. June of 2023, which we're in now, is 5 years. If you do not, your other choice is if you do not get a decision by July 4th weekend, withdraw your appeal and refile again. You have 5 years good moral character. You don't have a problem anymore.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Brad.
All right. Good luck. Let's go to Amika in Bronx. Amika.
All right. Thank you, Brad.
Hi. Good evening, Brad.
Yeah. How are you?
Let's go to Amika.
Amika.
I'm okay.
Live phone and not the broadcast.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have a question. My husband filed for my son, and now he got approved to NBC and everything, but he doesn't want to further the case.
Why?
So I want to know if
why
sometimes they be bitter for no reason at all.
Okay. Sorry about that. Do you have a green card?
Yes, I do.
How old is your son?
He's 14.
Refile for him now. Unfortunately, it's going to be another 2 or 3 years, but he'll get here well before college. The quicker you refile for him, the better. And if your husband has a change of heart in 6 months, he can always finish the case.
So there's nothing else I can't use somebody else as a support.
You can't force somebody to do something they don't want to do.
No, I'm saying if I can use somebody else to continue the case.
You cannot finish a case unless he wants to finish it.
Not my husband. I have the affidavit of support from somebody else.
You cannot finish your husband's case if he does not want to. Sad, but that's the case. You need to file again quickly. Don't delay, because your son will get through based on your application, not your husband's. And every day and week and month you wait, your son's going nowhere. You, Amika, in the Bronx, today, tonight, file an I-130 visa petition for your son. If in 6 months you and your husband work it out, he could always finish the case. You could have 2 cases going. But it seems like your husband and you don't get along, and he doesn't want to help you. He doesn't want to help your son. So help yourself. File for him.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right. Let's go to Stephen in the Bronx. Stephen. Stephen.
Hey, bro.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
How you doing? I just got one question. Good evening again.
Good evening.
So I get my green card the 10th of December last year, and I'm having some problem with my wife about money issues because I gave her some money to file my citizenship every time, around like 3 times, and she keep on using the money. So we're arguing over money issues. So she said I should come up with.
Why are you giving your wife money to file your citizenship? You mean your green card or your citizenship?
For my citizenship, because I work in Boston, so sometimes I leave maybe like for 2 weeks, stuff like that. So she says she can do it for me, like I'm out of the state.
How many times have you given your wife money to file your citizenship and she spent it instead? How many times has this happened?
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Stephen, you're a smart man?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Don't give her any more money. How long have you had your green card? How long have you had your green card?
I have my green card like 5 months now.
Well, you can't file your citizenship. You've only had it for 5 months.
So look how we're having problems now. I don't know if she can stop it. I don't know what happened.
Stephen, you can't file your citizenship until a minimum of 3 years of having a green card.
Oh, 3 years. Because I get a 2-year one first, and then I get an 18-month extension, and then I get a 2-year extension, then I finally get a 10-year one again.
Okay.
More than 5 years.
When did you get your conditional green card, Stephen?
So I get it 2018. That's the 2-year one. Then I get
when in 2018?
I get it September.
Okay. So this is my advice. File your citizenship yourself August 1st. And you can check off 5 years of having a green card and do it yourself. You don't need your wife's help at all. You don't even have to prove you live with your wife.
Okay, because
any more filing fees.
Okay, because every time she'd say she was gonna stop whatever she wanna stop. So I said nothing.
August 1st, fill out the N-400. You submit it yourself. You don't need to show you and your wife are together. You just show I've had a green card for 5 years. End of story.
Okay.
All right.
And 3 years return, right?
Correct. It doesn't matter whether you and your wife live together anymore.
Okay, I'll go to first. All right, thank you, my guy. Blessings and good work. Keep up the good work, too.
Good luck, Stephen. All right, let's go to Patrick in Baltimore, Maryland. Patrick.
Yes.
How you doing?
Hello. Good. So I had two short questions. So I filed my citizenship in January of this year.
Yes.
However, I did not. So my girl and I had some problem in September of last year where she was granted a protective order when we go to court. However, whatever she told the police, I guess the police did go ahead and make a case from that, and I did not know that a warrant was out for my arrest even before I filed my citizenship.
This is your girlfriend or your wife?
My girlfriend.
Okay.
So what happened is that the state, I think the state take it apart, the officer go ahead and file a charge that I assault her, which I did not assault her or anything, but the charges, the reason why I find out about the charges was since I do a background check, because even when I did my biometric, I didn't know, I did my biometric and everything for the citizenship, but the reason why I found out that a warrant was out for my arrest was when I did a background check and it came up on my background.
Patrick.
No.
Time out. You need to get this resolved. You need to get this resolved. If you have a warrant out for your arrest, you will not become a U.S. citizen. Let me
finish 1 minute. So what I was about to say to you, I since a month ago returned an attorney, and we have that warrant withdrawn. Now I had a court case in July, but the warrant was withdrawn. I'm not sure. I was just saying, like, what if I get my citizenship interview before this case is over?
They're not going to adjudicate your citizenship with an open criminal case. So my advice would be, if you get the interview before this criminal case is resolved, adjourn your citizenship interview. Push it forward.
Push it back.
Yep, push it back or push it forward, however you.
Okay. So will this so what if I want to travel overseas? Will this affect me if I'm traveling overseas?
No, because you don't have a criminal conviction. I assume you have no other arrests. So you just have
I don't have no other arrests. I've never been arrested. We got the warrant withdrawn.
Okay. So the warrant's withdrawn. You have a pending criminal case. As long as it doesn't end up in a conviction, you're fine.
Right. And as long as it don't end up in a conviction, then I'll be okay with my citizenship.
Yes.
Okay. And then I can always travel even though I have a court case coming up.
Correct.
I can travel even before the court case. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Thank you. That was my question. I appreciate it.
Good luck. All right. Akeem, how are you?
I'm fine.
What's going on, Akeem?
Hello?
Yeah, Akeem.
Yes, I'm here.
What's going on? How can I help you?
Yeah, so my question is, I want to find out how is it possible to get a work permit while in the state?
How is it possible?
Yeah, because I'm from Jamaica, in the States, on a visitor's visa.
Have you overstayed on your visa?
No, I'm just in the States since April.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like 2 months now in the States.
Well, you have to qualify for a work permit. Generally, it's from filing an adjustment of status, or filing an asylum. There's some other limited ways to get a work permit. Those are the two most basic ways. But you're basically asking me, hey, how do I get a green card? How do I become legal and live here? And this show's not about you calling me and me figuring out your life, because that's your question. This show's about you have a specific. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer for you, but you could have a consultation with me and we can figure it out. All right. So hold on 1 second. All right. So that is our meat and potatoes of the day. And I do have to remind everybody that I will be answering your viewers' questions, all of your questions that you leave in the comments on Facebook and you leave in the comments on YouTube in about 2 or 3 minutes from now in what we call social media check-in. But before I do that, I do have to remind everybody that to follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live, Follow us on TikTok, our fastest growing media platform. Follow us. It's also Bradshaw Live. Follow us on Twitter at Bradshaw Live. Of course, you're watching me on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube and follow on Facebook as well. And you may even see on Facebook our Brad Squad VIP page. And you should check that out too, to meet all our friends from Brad Show from all over the world. And also you can leave your questions in our VIP page. And you're going to see in about 3 minutes, I'm going to answer those questions first. But in the meantime, I do have to remind everybody that Spar and Bernstein does handle personal injury claims as well as immigration cases. And some people may not realize that if you get hurt on someone else's property, you can file a premises liability claim, and that includes falls. But what if you're injured while trespassing? What should you do after a premises liability accident? And who is liable for your injury if you do fall on someone else's property and injure yourself, including if you fall at work? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Let's watch.
In most cases, if you are injured when trespassing, the property owner is not liable, even if they were aware of dangerous conditions on their property. Exceptions may include children and attractive nuisance. The trespasser is a child who is attracted to an appealing area that posed a risk to their safety, such as an unfenced pool, for example. Trespasser known to the owner. The property owner is aware of the trespasser and reluctantly accepts the trespassing. If you are injured in a premises liability accident, seek immediate medical attention and explain how your injury was caused to medical professionals. Take photos and video of the incident site, which may later support your claim. Ask eyewitnesses of the incident for contact information. Make a note of the weather conditions during the time of the premises accident. Contact an attorney who specializes in premises liability cases. Keep a journal to record how the incident affected your daily routine. Track medical expenses and additional costs. Typically, New York laws protect employers from being sued for premises accidents, except in limited circumstances. However, if you are injured on the job, it is possible to file a claim against third parties that are responsible for safety conditions on the premises. Depending on the circumstances, you may be eligible for compensation on top of your workers' compensation. Contact an experienced personal injury attorney to determine your options.
All right. So unfortunately, accidents do happen, and save our number 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK. In case you or someone you love is injured in an accident in New York, we will do all we can to help at a time when you need it the most. All right. We're ready to do our social media check-in. Let's do it. All right. From our VIP Brad Squad questions, if you are a member of the VIP Brad Squad page on our Facebook, then you will get your immigration questions answered first. Bennett Candy asks, what does it mean if the embassy gives a letter stating that a baby is denied under Section 221G Act? It means you're basically denied, not eligible for a visa. Sophia Bryce, my husband and daughter's case has been DQ'd since December 2022. They're F2A. My question is, how long before they get an interview? They're in Jamaica. I don't have a magic ball, but DQ'd cases in Jamaica are sometimes taking up to a year. Hopefully, it will be less for you. As if Khan, we are waiting for the humanitarian reinstatement approval since January 2021 and still no answer yet. How long does this usually take? How long will it take until the interview process? It's taking about 18 months to 2 years for humanitarian reinstatement. So you're at 2.5 years. So I don't know what happened with your case. I'm not a fortune teller, as I said in the last one, but I would expect you to get a decision momentarily. Then after, depending on what country they're in, it could take another year or longer to process. You just saw Sophia Bryce with the question. And your case isn't even DQ'd after your humanitarian waiver. You got to do all the affidavits of support all over again. So it could take a year or maybe even longer before an interview. Patricia Marie with the longest question of the day. Last week, you answered my question as to whether a case with USCIS for spousal immigrants can be reopened after the one-year approval period of the NVC. You advised that after 1 year expiration, a request to reopen the case can be submitted for up to an additional 1 year. We received an email May 2021 that our case was submitted to NVCs for submission. As a result of the loss of my job as petitioner, loss of sponsor, and my cancer diagnosis, we never communicated with NVC. Our marriage remains strong, and today is our 4-year anniversary. What are the chances to reopen 25 months later? Do it. Stop writing me and write the NVC. I will tell you that every day you wait to do it longer, it's less likely. So do it. Don't write me, write the NVC or hire me to do it. Hard Rich. She's writing me this. It's shorter to write the NVC. It's one sentence. Please reopen my case. You could have written the NVC it took you less time to do than write to me again. Hard Rich. What is the best thing to do if I applied for an extension? The result came out months after my supposed extended date, leaving me no choice but to overstay in the country. Will I be able to retain my U.S. visa when I go back to my country? Am I going to be banned? You're banned because you requested extension. You said I need 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is. So you should have left within that time frame in which you said you needed. Because you have an extension filed, that doesn't give you the right to stay here for 1 year or 1.5 years waiting on a decision. You leave. You did what you were supposed to do and you leave, and you never got a decision, and you wait for it back home. So you're out of status and your visa is no good, and you will be banned when you come back. Dolly Rupnarine, our case has been DQ'd since May 2021. We're in the F3. We're from the Caribbean. Can you advise how long we can wait? No, I cannot, but it sounds like you're going to need an attorney at some point because you've been waiting that 2+ years unless your priority date's not current yet. Sometimes priority dates are not current even though you're DQ'd. So that could be a possibility too. So I don't know what your priority date is. And William Patrick can give me more news about the Dignity Act. I don't have any more news to tell you, but Google Dignity Act and you'll see, and put in news and you'll see all the news you can get from it. All right, let's see what our questions are. But watch our show, because if there's something to report about the Dignity Act, we will talk about it. All right, let's see where we're going to start here with questions. All right. All right, first question, Joyce Henry. Can a U.S. citizen petition for a spouse if you have Medicaid insurance? Yes, but try to get off the Medicaid because if it's long-term Medicaid, you may have a problem. If it's short-term for short disability or short injury, then it would be okay. Kimmy Kim, I was advised to file an I-601 waiver. Can you advise the process, please? Well, I don't know why you need an I-601 waiver, but an I-601 waiver is because your spouse or you or was found inadmissible. So we need to know the reason why. And then we need to figure out what is the extreme hardship to the U.S. relative. It's not just filling out a form. It's actually doing real legal work. You would need an attorney. Jalov, hey, Brad, do we still have to take that COVID shot? If you want to get a green card, yes. If you want to visit, no. Sharat, can I get a green card? I am a TPS citizen. Maybe you would need a consultation. Keith, do you think any immigration reform or Dignity Act will pass this year? I highly doubt it. Sarat, can I get a green card under Dignity Act? There is no Dignity Act. But if it passes, we'll talk about it. Because I've been talking about potential laws for 25 years and nothing has passed. So when something looks like it will pass, trust me, you'll hear it out of my mouth. Until then, it's all noise. Sophia, good evening, Uncle Brad. Asking for a friend. She got an RFE for the I-130A. She responded, no response, but got approved for the work permit. Is that normal? She responded, yes. If she got the work permit, that means she did it right. Jessica Leamy, what's the processing time for a standalone I-130? For a spouse, probably over a year. CMB, if I'm a resident of Canada, do I need a visa to come to the U.S.? Yes, only citizens don't need visas. Nico, hello, Brad. Can I apply for EAD at the same time when filing for a T visa? You can. You can apply at the same time, and if you have a bona fide case, they will approve it. Tracy, my husband filed for my I-130 petition March 2022, but we did not file the I-45 and I-765. Can we send them in now? Yes, you can. The fee is $1,225. Carla, can a person that's on government benefits file for his wife? Yes, but if it's long-term government benefits, you're going to need a second affidavit of support. And if it's for government benefits that have a poverty requirement that you have to be below the poverty and you've been on it for a long term, then you would have to get off. So it depends what the government benefits are. I answered that question. Karis, what's up, Brad? What's up, Karis? I had my green card, but stay out of the U.S. for 11 months. Can I file for citizenship? No. If you re-entered after staying out for 11 months, then your citizenship starts again 5 years. Got to do it 5 years all over again. Resident in the United States for 30 out of 60 months. No trip out of the country for more than 6 months at a time. Living in the state for 90 days before you file. Those are the 3 rules. Chioma, hi. I got an RFE to prove my marriage since 2021. Please, what are the most important documents that I need to submit? Proof that you have a financial relationship with your spouse. Proof that you live with your spouse. Every document that shows you live in the same home. Every document that shows you have a financial responsibility. You're both financially responsible for the debts in the marriage. Marie Forever. I petitioned for my adult child in Jamaica 2018. It's at the National Visa Center. It's F24. I'm now a citizen, but still have not changed it. How much longer do I have to wait? At least 3 more years. Counselor, hey, Uncle Braddy. I'm divorce conditioning green card holder. I have 2-year extension. My 14-year-old daughter is scheduled for our I-45 interview. Do you think USCIS would do my I-765 case simultaneously, I-751 case simultaneously? I doubt it. But file your citizenship, they would do it. Hello, Brad. What documents do I need to adjust my parents' stay? They came on B2 visa and have exceeded 120 days. You need to file an adjustment, an I-45, I-130, I-765, I-131, I-864. Proof that you are a U.S. citizen. Proof that these are your parents, which would be your birth certificate, their birth certificates, marriage and divorce decrees for everybody, and an affidavit of support by you, which is 3 years tax returns, job letter, and bank letter. Woo! That was fast. Orlando, hey, Brad, I got my permanent residence through marriage. Could I lose it by my wife's threats? No, if you got your green card, your wife can't take it away. Let her threaten all she wants. Too bad. Too late. Sorry. Sorry for her, not for you. Ramatu, hi, Brad. I've been patronizing a prostitute. Well, that sounds like fun, but why are you telling me? No, it's not fun. I'm making a joke. I've been patronizing a prostitute and pled guilty for a 240-20 New York Penal Code, which I disclosed on my interview, that you got arrested for patronizing a prostitute and you pled guilty to a disorderly conduct. Exactly what you just said. Saul Rivera, my friend is a permanent resident since 1992. He had a misdemeanor theft in 1998 and a DWI in 2002. In Texas, can he travel out of the country with no problem? My friend is a permanent resident since 1992. Misdemeanor theft in 1998 and a DWI. No, he's going to have a problem. He needs a lawyer. Sasha, I-45 was administratively closed because I'm currently in proceedings before an immigration judge. The I-130 was approved a week later and was asked to send a copy of this notice in Form I-45. Do I have to? Yes. File the I-45 and reopen if you're administratively closed, reopen your case with the immigration judge. Wow, you can't even see my head here. Hello, Brad. I was 10 years old when my mom passed away. It's like I'm just the top of my bald head. I grew up with my auntie who was the same dad as my biological mom. Okay, so, all right. We lost all our documents during the Civil War in my country. After the Civil War, my auntie went to get my new birth certificate and she put her name as my mother. I'm now a U.S. citizen. Can I file for my auntie as my mother since she's on my birth certificate? No, you can't because she's not your mother. That would be a fraudulent birth certificate. And if they ask for a blood test, it's going to be determined. Cecilia Brown, what do I do if I get married to a U.S. citizen, however, got interviewed? Husband told them he was in a relationship. Well, your husband said he was in a relationship with somebody else, then your husband's admitting to marriage fraud and you got a problem. Makisha, good afternoon, Brad. If a person had a case that ended null prosecute, does that person need a pardon and be granted a green card? No, null prosecute means that they drop the charges. So you're fine. Reunification with family is still open. Are you talking about Haiti? Yes. Good evening, Brad. I'm a green card holder. Can I file for my kids? Absolutely, as long as they are single and not married. Crystal, good evening, Brad. My friend always comes to America to work on an H-2 visa, but recently charged for a crime and the government dropped the charges. Can the person get another visa? They can try to get another visa, but because they were charged with a crime, it's going to be hard to get a new visa, but they can absolutely try. Deco Nur, the surname on my visa doesn't match with the one on the passport. What to do? Get it fixed at the U.S. Embassy. They obviously made a mistake. Earth Angel, hey, Brad. Or if you're saying the surname because there's a marriage, then bring the marriage certificate and prove the marriage and travel with the marriage certificate, the passport, and obviously. But if it's just completely wrong name, then a different story. All right, we're going to do 3 more questions. That's all we have time for today. Earth Angel Pert, hey, Brad. Can one tell if they qualified for 245I? Back in the days, their dad was married to a U.S. citizen. The petition was done. They know nothing else. The father was now deported. Only if the stepmother filed for you would you be 245I back in the day in this particular fact pattern. Other fact patterns could be different. The only way to determine is to get your FOIA, get the stepmother's FOIA, get your father's FOIA. All right. James Gualtani. My fiance wants to come to the U.S. on my fiance visa. Can she then apply for a green card on the family visa her son applied for? No. If you come on a fiance visa, the only way to get a green card is to marry you and you file for her. Any other way, she would be barred from getting a green card. And our last question in social media check-in. What if a U.S. citizen got married to a Jamaican in Jamaica, submitted documents for filing, however, it was denied? How long can that citizen file for a new spouse after they were divorced? Can file immediately, but it depends why it was denied. If it was denied because the government thinks it was a business marriage, that new spouse may have trouble filing for new spouses. So it depends the reasons why. But yeah, you can fall in love, fall out of love, fall back in love. Plenty of times in it, until you get it right. There's plenty of people who fall in and out of love. All right, so that is our social media check-in, and now we're going to watch the second half of our squad versus crew game. Right now, the score in this ongoing competition series is squad 11, crew 10. When we left off, squad member Kalashir Perry and crew member Eliza Bertrand were head-to-head in a game of tradition expedition, testing their knowledge on cultural traditions around the globe. And the score was Kalisha 1, Eliza 2. Let's see how they do today. Play along at home, and let's see how you do in the comments.
Hey, Brad Squad. Vanessa Contreras here today for another edition of our ongoing Squad versus Crew series. We all know culture and tradition vary across the world, which is a huge part of what makes our planet such a diverse and fascinating place to live. So today we are going to have a rematch between show fan Kalisha Perry and our crew member Eliza Bertrand
versus
who are about to match wits on their knowledge of cultural traditions around the globe. Some are quite fascinating and unique, and even the most seasoned traveler may not know. So test yourselves and play along at home, squad, in a game of Tradition Expedition. What country has the unique tradition of slurping while eating? Is it A, Italy, B, Mexico, C, Japan, or D, France? Let's see them in 3, 2, 1. Okay. The correct answer is C, Japan. In Western cultures, slurping while eating food is considered to be rude. But in Japan, making slurping sounds while eating is acceptable. In Japan, people slurp up their noodles without winding them around a utensil. Making a slurping sound when eating noodles in Japan indicates that you're enjoying them. Some people believe that slurping enhances the noodle's flavor. What country has the unique tradition of the Monkey Buffet Festival? A, Thailand, B, Cambodia, C, Costa Rica, or D, India? Let's see what you guys got in 3, 2, 1. The answer is A, Thailand. The Monkey Buffet Festival supposedly brings good luck and is organized yearly in Thailand, in the city of Lopburi to be exact. On the last Sunday of November, enormous amounts of food are displayed all over the city and left for monkeys to feast upon. And it is not just any old food. Buffets are prepared by chefs to keep the monkeys happy. People dress up like monkeys, dancing and celebrating. Sounds like a bunch of monkey business if you ask me. Okay, so what country has the unique tradition of pointing with your lips? Is it A, Peru, B, Nicaragua, C, Brazil, or D, the Dominican Republic? Let's see those answers in 3, 2, 1. You know what? As a Dominican, we kind of do that too, but no. It is a true tradition in B, Nicaragua. In Nicaragua, it is common to point with the lips instead of the thumb or index finger. Wondering how exactly this is done? It all starts by puckering up in a kind of duck face. The lips can then be directed forward or side to side to indicate what the person is trying to point out. This gesture is usually accompanied by a directional head movement, which is used to indicate something happening nearby. Yeah. Aji.
Love it.
Okay, so our final question, double or nothing. Here we go. What country has the unique tradition of carrying your pregnant wife while walking on hot coals? Is that in A, India, B, China, C, Spain, or D, Cambodia? Let's see these guesses, these final guesses in 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is B, China.
Wait, seriously? I totally guessed.
I had it.
Oh no! I was sure I was wrong.
You have to go with your instincts, Kalisha. You have to go with your instincts. So, in China, once a woman conceives, some fathers-to-be carry their pregnant wife over amber-colored burning coal. It is said that if the father successfully does this, the mother is believed to have a smooth and less painful labor. They believe this ritual shows the compassion and love that the father of the soon-to-be has for the newborn child and the mother. This time, it goes to our crew. Eliza, great guessing.
Congrats,
Eliza.
Luck was on my side today.
Definitely.
Yes, it was a great time learning about different traditions on this expedition. The crew with a raging 6 points. Our squad with just 1. Congratulations to both you guys for participating. If you want to be a part of any of our squad and crew games, just make sure that you get in touch with our crew and we'll have you on the next one. So, till then.
All right. So thank you very much, Kalisha. Thank you very much, Eliza, for playing. And it's a good game. But Eliza was the winner. So the squad and crew are tied at 11-11. It is a nail biter. All right. It's coming to the time of our show where I either answer 10 questions or Joe blows me up. Let's do it. All right. On my count. Are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Can a green card holder petition for her children? Yes, if they're unmarried. Is there a different form to file for someone with special needs? No. Can I apply for U.S. citizenship if I went to my home country with a green card and stayed for 11 months? No, you don't have the continuous residence. 4, I overstayed my visa. If I marry a U.S. citizen, can I adjust my status? Yes. I-130 approved with withholding of removal. How long to get my green card? I don't know. Shortly, I hope. Can someone with a U.S. transit visa apply for asylum? Yes. When can you do if your case is taking longer than expected? Threat and a mandamus. Got my RFE 6 months after filing. Will I be waiting 13 months for a work permit? Probably. What happens if you get married before 90 days while on a visiting visa? Misrepresentation. Is there a waiver for people who overstay in the U.S. on their visa? Yes. And I lost by a second. Because I tried to explain one. All right, next time. I think I lost the last 2 or 3 in a row now. All right, better luck next time. All right. Comments of the day. Let's do it. All right, comments of the day. Our first comment is Sasha Robinson. Oh my God, as I logged in, I was on. LOL. All right. Our next comment of the day is Karen Henry. Hello, Brad Squad. First time catching the live. Oh, welcome, Karen Henry. Third one, Dorette Morris. Wow, knowledge is power. Let Brad do it for you if you don't know how to do it. All right. Thank you, Dorette. And I believe that's all our comments of the day. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will see you back here Monday, June 19th. Of course, our telephone number to call a consultation is scrolling at the bottom of our screen for the entire show, 1-800-529-5465. You can call me to schedule a consultation with me anywhere in the United States. We handle cases from all over the United States of America. 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's 212-227-8933. Everybody, please be safe, and we will see you all next week. Have a great week.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465.